You're going to be with us because it's now the time of the Day of the Dead, the very biggest celebration in all of Mexico. We've had an experience of it, but you're going to be smelling the flowers, the marigolds that are growing along the way. You're going to taste through the visual experience of the tacos and the mole, and you're going to have a burrito, and you're going to experience some of the music. But more importantly, we're going to make our way to Oaxaca, the Day of the Dead, the celebrations, attend the graveyards, and see what this is all about. It's the most fun time, and Oaxaca is the capital of Mexico for celebrations for Day of the Dead. This cultural event in Mexico is so meaningful to the Mexicans. It starts before that. As we were rolling along the roads, maybe 2 weeks prior to the Day of the Dead, you hear these cannons going off. And early in the morning as well, and you think, what's happening? Well, it's just pre-Day of the Dead celebrations. And as we ride through the countryside, I'm amazed at the amount of marigolds that are growing. Fields and fields and fields and greenhouses. And then a red plant that they call the paw of a panther. And all these flowers are going to be harvested for the Day of the Dead, and people are going to take them to graveyards and decorate the graves of their ancestors. The goddess of death, Katrina, the ancient Aztec god, is everywhere. Statues of her, posters of her, everybody's face is painted like it's her face, and she's there to protect the dead as they travel to the afterlife. We leave Puebla and we head to Oaxaca, which is the capital of the Day of the Dead celebrations. It's also fantastic food because mole is there. And mole is a sauce that they put on their lamb, their goat, other meats, I suppose. So one of the things we wanted to do when we get to Oaxaca is try a mole. And we did, the team. We got on a cab, we went to a restaurant, and we tried 7 different moles, from green to dark black, from spicy to sweet. And it was an excellent evening in the food culture of Oaxaca, which is, it's well known for its food and celebrations of the Day of the Dead. Oaxaca is also the center of mezcal. And 90% of the mezcal that's exported around the world comes from the province of Oaxaca in southern Mexico. So let's talk about Day of the Dead. Here we are. Halloween is coming. They celebrate Halloween. They put it all together. Halloween at the end of October. Day of the Dead on the 2nd of November. And it makes for a grand celebration. Tourists come in from all over the world to Oaxaca just to be part of it. So asking around the hotel, finding out where to go and what to do, we got 2 locations, 2 graveyards. Yes, we're going to go to graveyard. So the first graveyard we start off to, and it's closed, can't get in. But outside on the streets all around the graveyard is, let's call it the country fair. Rides, bands, gambling, drinking, everything you would see in a county fair. And people having fun, families are all out. A lot of people dressed in costumes, faces are painted, and we got our faces painted too. Joanna is great for holiday planning, for parties, for anniversaries. So she brought a makeup kit and she painted all our faces so that we were part of the celebrations that we were about to enjoy. So the first graveyard didn't work out so well, so we headed for a second. Totally different. Here there were small food trucks and things to eat and all that, but the activity was in the graveyard. And if I say there's 10,000 people there, there might be 20, there might be 5. It's a big, big crowd, and you're in the graveyard shoulder to shoulder with people. And all these graves are decorated with flowers, marigolds, the panther flower. They've got food out, they've got candles out. Some have people singing, playing guitars at the site. Some have built big monuments. some with pictures of their relatives. Some are small, but most are really big, and I'm sure it's something like New Orleans and the people preparing the floats prior to New Orleans. I'm sure these families had thought about the designs, what they were going to do, how they were going to decorate their grave of their ancestors and celebrate this day. I don't know whether they have judges that go around and judge which grave is best decorated or set out, but they certainly could have done that. So we spent, oh, I don't know, an hour, maybe more, just wandering around taking pictures of the various graves. And then afterwards participating in a small little parade and activities outside the graveyard. Ending up getting home well after midnight and being tired from walking around and doing the celebrations. But the next day it wasn't over, because we headed down to the square in Oaxaca and wandered around, and so many buildings have displays. The parks have statues, the parks have celebrations and dancing going on, and the day was spent just wandering around looking at how they decorate and celebrate this Day of the Dead. It was a fantastic time, and I can't leave you without telling you about mezcal, because everybody thinks tequila is what Mexico is all about, but tequila is just a subset of mezcal, and tequila is produced in one province, Jalisco. Jalisco is the name of the state where tequila comes from, and the process of making it is different than the mezcal. Mezcal is permitted to be produced in 9 states, and you get to use 9 different types of the agave plant, where tequila is only one type of agave. As we left Oaxaca, we cycled down the highway, and there's signs, Highway of Gold, Highway of Liquid Gold, the Mezcal Highway, things like that. And we passed many, many small mezcal operations run by a family before we get to the bigger ones that are run by big companies. And we stop and we observe and find out how to make mezcal, and we see that only one brand puts little worms in the bottom of the tequila bottle. So it's very rare to see that, but they've used it for a marketing gimmick and shipped that up to North America, Canada, and Europe or whatever. So we spend the day stopping at various little places, sipping mezcal, watching them make it, doing the tours. Oaxaca is all about Day of the Dead, the food culture, and mezcal, and colonial ancient times in Mexico. Fantastic place to go. I would recommend it, but go at the end of October. Get in and see the Day of the Dead. After Oaxaca, it's time to approach Guatemala. And before we get to Guatemala, I break Guinness's world record for the longest e-bike ride. It's strange because that record, when I first looked at it, had sat there for about 10 years with nobody attempting it. This particular year, Skipper and Flipper from Florida, a young couple, broke the record. They rode from Florida up to Maine and across to Seattle in Washington for 7,000 miles, breaking the record and getting the Guinness World Record. I was on the road at the time that they broke the existing record, and this particular day I'm talking about, I broke their record. But I was later to find out that the original fellow wasn't happy with somebody out there on the road, and he went back and he broke Skipper and Flipper's record by 500 miles. It wasn't a worry to me because I still had a 1,500 miles to go or kilometers to go. So whatever was the case, I would be breaking whoever the particular holder was. There was also another fellow on the road. His name was Gustav from Slovenia, 71 years of age. Started when he was 70. He started in Anchorage on an electric bike, and he ended up riding all the way to Argentina. Unfortunately, he never registered for Guinness's World Record, and even though he rode at a very long distance, there was probably places there where it wasn't continuous, and the rules and things that Guinness set out for the record was probably not part of his episode. Anyway, he was a month in front of me, and he was, I'm going to say, the first person to ride an electric bike from Alaska to Argentina. I'm going to claim, or I believe I'm claiming, to be the oldest person to ride an electric bike. I was 10 years older than Gustav was. Anyway, congratulations to him for doing it. There was also one other person from Norway who started off riding an electric skateboard from Norway to the bottom of Argentina. He ended up realizing he couldn't do it and got an electric bike somewhere in the heartland of the United States, so he rode an electric bike from the middle of the United States down. But Alaska's a little bit further, and so he gets third place because he didn't ride it quite as far as the rest of us. So we're heading into Central America now. Mexico's a big country, 2 months. We got 1 month left for covering all of Central America. So the next episode takes us across the border. We're going to talk about the migrants for a while when we cross into Guatemala.